So in this video, I'm going to kind of walk through the case study. And this case study is gonna primarily focusing on SEO and more on SEO strategy versus its small tactics. So that means we don't go into the rabbit hole of kind of technical SEO, which is very very drive for our target audience. And just remember, our target audience is the kind of CEOs, the owners, and people working in the marketing departments in solar installation company in the US. So that's important, right? So yeah, solar installation companies in the US. Okay. So anyway, in this case study, it's gonna cover this all those sections and subtopics within. And so the first part is obviously gonna be methodology. Like why are we kind of how do we get all the data, and where do we get our number basically. And then we can go to background. Background is basically saying that what are the indicators, that they are very successful in terms of SEO. Okay. And so it's going to cover the highlights, a few important numbers. And then we're going to how they target local search and review search. And then content marketing, which is the blog's dominance. And then we will talk about how much is organic traffic contribute to its overall traffic, what's the percentage, right? And also the domain authority and numbers of backlinks. And finally, compared to its SEO competitor, what does it look like, right? So and then we're getting to the reason of the success. So this is actually the kind of the most important part of this case study. Kind of unveil the why, the nuts and bolts, and so we'll get into each one of those. So let's start it. So methodology, we use so this part you don't need to write very very long. You don't need a very kind of big part of it covering how and covering this. Just very very simple. One paragraph, it's good enough. Just basically we choose a lot of metrics because my personal SEO experience, and we are talking about the most important things that that make a big difference in the SEO result. And then we talk about we use search engine result pages to check the visibility. So I have lots of screenshots, so it's obvious it's from SERP, and we use SEMrush for a lot of kind of the traffic analytics. So let's get into background. So this is basically the part that we talk about just how successful they are. So the few highlights, their overall traffic by month, and then the organic, and like a number of the installer and users. You can find this data, just Google it, you will find it. And so to kind of target local searches, and you need to explain what's local searches, right? So whenever people who are searching searching for a service or a product, within a geolocation, sometimes near me. So near me, it's in local search as well, and that's the local search. So to get for their local search, they are getting on desktop about this much each month, and this much on mobile each month. So combined, you will have a number, and a number of keywords. And this is the money where, if they run PPC, in order to get this amount of traffic, they need to spend this much of money. So this is how much money they have saved by by doing SEO. And so this is good. This is an example that what a local search is and how an energy search is showing up in Google. And then review, people check reviews before they purchase anything nowadays. And so in terms of review, this is how much they are generating each month, and this is how much they are generating mobile, and this is on desktop. And this is an example. So what we're talking about review is that when people are searching for the review for any solar installer, so obviously they are around 5,000 installation companies in the US. That's the data, that's the number announced by SEA. So they have most of the installers on their websites, and if you search installer and plus installers company name plus review, you're very likely to seeing the reviews on EnergySage ranking at top 3, and sometimes it's on number 0. So this is a good example of they ranking at position 0. So, and that's also called feature snippets. And here we get to the parts of percentage of their organic. So the organic traffic, so the traffic they are from search engine, we call them organic traffic. Okay, so that's the definition of organic traffic. So organic traffic, they are getting 55.93%. So and also you have to point it out that some of the direct traffic, it's initially they are very likely from the search. So direct traffic, meaning that when someone been on your websites before and they are using kind of browsing histories to get to your site again, that's counted as in direct traffic. And also other sources that cannot be identified. So you kind of have to mention what is direct traffic first. And this is just the same one. And so long tail searches. So this is a kind of blog talking about a blog, and long tail, meaning the search phrases is longer, right? Like how the cost of solar installation, something like that, right? So, and also you can tell that the traffic on their blog so they hosted a blog and all the articles, the content marketing efforts, mostly on news data EnergySage.com, and it's getting 1.3 million. So yeah, it's a big number, and they are getting the traffic. Oh no, so that's not organic. So it's organic for free. This is the same. I don't know why. An example of good kind of the long tail searches. So this is considered long tail searches. Solar power window, or like cost of solar power window, And example 2, how much does a Tesla battery wall cost, right? So this is another example. Example 3, another one. In terms of backlinks, this is how many backlinks they have, and domain authority. This is very well recognized in the SEO profession. In our industry, this is kind of the gold standard. Usually, that's what we use. We don't use kind of authority score, which is developed by SEMrush. So generally speaking, people use MOZ DA, so domain authority. And 62, this is just very, very high in the industry. And so in terms of backlinks, you can see that they are getting more than 10,000 links from 10,000 websites, and many of them are medium sites. Media. Publishers. So like CNBC, CNN. Those big guys. So quite remarkable. And so compare with this SEO competitors. So they are kind of left their competitor far behind. And also you have to point it out that sometimes that solar reviews, they are local searches. So local targeting pages ranking better than EnergySage. But overall, EnergySage just does better content marketing. So in terms of numbers of keyword they rank for, and the overall organic search traffic, they are just so much better than all of his competitors. And by the way, here you are looking at the desktop version, the traffic of desktop version of it. So and so on the kind of mobile, it's kind of like pretty much the same. The traffic pretty much the same. So it's 500,000, I would say. And so how do they do it? So this is the part that we actually get into how. And I break it down, their reason of success, into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So nine parts. And let's get into it. So first of all, you need to explain what SEO is, and we're gonna use Moz definition. And so and here you kind of break it down to people that what most people think what SEO is. It just that main keywords, solar company in geolocation. So so this is basically the what's that called? EnergySage's is basically using only location targeting pages, state pages, California, to target this type of search. But it's actually only one part of SEO. It's a small part of SEO. I have to say that this is most effective. The search, it's the kind of the buyer at this stage. It's closer to buying, closer to actually making a purchase. However, the search volume, it's much smaller than the second kind. And so the second kind is where, in fact, SEO is also ranking well for questions like this. So when this is at when people are at different stage, which is called long tail SEO. So actually answering those questions, it's the gold mine that most of the solar company miss. And here's why, because majority of the search, the 70% of, well, more than 70, so including chunky middle, so that's about 80%. That's well more than 80% of searches aren't really directly about a service or product. It's more like they are doing research, trying to see whether it's good to go to solar, or trying to verify what the sales rep is saying, the solar sales rep. So the kind of what's the best method to tap in this section? The gold mine, right? So that's content marketing. And so what is content marketing? I'm gonna use this definition. This is from CMI, so Content Marketing Institute. So this is their definition. I think it's the best one. And so and again, you have to point out this. For small solar installation company, this can be as simple as answering the most frequently asked questions in a form of blogging. And we're talking about how to blog later. It's not like just having an what does it call? Having a FAQ. Having just an FAQ is a different thing. So what and here this is the basics of content marketing. So we talked about content marketing before, right? So right now we are getting to the basics of content marketing, and good content marketing. The good content marketing basics is good basics for SEO. So what solar what homeowner search at each stage, right? And this is called mapping the buyer's journey. So basically, buyers will go through different stages before purchasing a thing, and sometimes when they contact you, they might already at later stage. Okay, so they might be approached by a sales guy, and then they probably haven't heard anything about solar before, but still after that they're gonna go on Google to search your review. So they search a kind of alternative to you, and they also search questions and problems they might have, or something that claimed by the kind of solar sales team, and then they will verify. So at different stage, they are searching different things, and content marketing usually fit in here, but it can fit in here as well, because also in here as well, and because at this stage you can create a kind of case study. So the at this stage people are still looking for a case study sometimes. So case study is another form of content marketing as well. I do want to mention that. And one of the kind of most important strategy that EnergySage have, it's long form content. So that's a big myth out there that people don't read long form content, but that's not true at all. They kind of they don't know the difference between that's only true when it's on social media. On Google, people are way more patient to read things because they are in the active mode. They are actively looking for information, and so that's a huge difference. And EnergySage does a good job of writing long form of content. And one of them, talking about the cost of solar installation, it's about 4,000 words. So it's very long. And people will read long form of content when the stakes are very high, when the consequences are high, because they could ending up wasting 30,000 or even more money. So at that point, they are very willing to read long form of content if the if the content's good, makes sense to them, and they can understand, of course. So readable, it's important as well, right? But this is the major myth and major misconception out there. And so internal links, they do internal links very well. So internal links are the links going from one page to another on the same domain. Okay, they go to different pages, but they are on the same domain. They are linking internally, so that's why they call internal links. So that's different from backlinks. And I'm not saying the backlinks is bad. I mean, we'll get into EnergySage's backlink strategy. But technical, so another thing they done well is technical SEO. And technical SEO, including all this, you don't need to expand this part, Sumi. So and the reason is that the main audience of this case study is not SEO professions, and we don't want to dive too deep in to technical SEO. Just as a reference, I listed most of the important kind of technical SEO aspects here. So backlink strategy. So I think the major three backlink strategy they are taking, they don't really do outreach to get a guest post or whatever. They don't begging for backlinks all over the internet. But they kind of focusing on themselves. They do white paper, and they are very high quality. You can click open them. They are multiple like industry reports for installer to download. They can also catch your leads. Like the installer has to put in their contact information to download those white papers and reports, and it's actually a good way for them to get more supplier. So this is an important way for them to get white paper, because when I check a lot of uh, backlinks from media, from like publishers, they usually pointed to the white page, the report they produce, because reporters and journalists, they want to point to a credible source. So getting him, and also getting interview, that's a kind of a very good way to get backlinks, because it doesn't just give you backlink, get you media coverage. And their CEO has been going to different interviews, different podcast shows, different talk shows, so getting interview, that's good strategy to earn quality backlinks. And also content marketing, and since they are blog and their articles rank for most commonly searched question and ranking very well in Google, so they end up getting a lot of quality backlinks for people who are doing research. And they could be bloggers, they're writing about some subject they don't know, and in Google they find their articles, so they link to it. And so another thing they are doing extremely well, that's called location targeting pages. So they have 42 42,000 location targeting pages. So those pages are they include states, they include counties, they include cities. So they are actually 3 types of local pages, but they all started with local data. So when I put this this type of command in Google, I find this much result. So by structuring this way, they rank well for local searches. Okay, so this is why that wherever you search, like solar companies in Las Vegas, they rank well. This is the reason. And so this is where I take from another. So they have this many pages, but I mean, those are the best ranking one. They are 17, well, almost 18,000 of them are ranking, actually getting traffic. So that means some of them don't get traffic. Some of those pages don't get traffic because some very small towns doesn't have solar installation, or don't have listings, so they didn't rank well. But this shows that it's getting them result. And the other thing they done exceptionally well, it's called UGC SEO. So UGC stands for user generated contents, and because Google's ranking mechanism like unique contents. So Google's algorithm, I don't want to use algorithms too technical. So, but Google like unique contents. So the user generated contents in this case is the reviews. So help enormously. They help their SEO enormously, and so we call them UGC SEO. And this is very smart strategy. Well, this is not just good SEO. This is good marketing as well. Because people love check other people's experience who verified, and so it's not just good SEO. So crap. So that's basically it. I mean, backlinks. Oh, that's weird. I thought I had a page for number of backlinks. Okay, so backlink strategy here, we're already done. And location targeting pages, it's done. Yeah, so I guess the last things that I didn't really mention is, I didn't have in the slides, is that, what a small installation company can learn from EnergySage. Okay, so I will have a different slides. Yeah, so this is the case study that I want you to focusing on, using this slides as your kind of your backbone of your case